Hello and welcome to the Fairy Tale Journeys by Todd Bro podcast. Sit back, relax, and let's discuss all things Disney, Universal, and cruising vacations. Hello, this is Todd, and welcome to episode 8 for Monday, October 30th, 2013. And today we're going to discuss Disney Cruise Line's early 2025 bookings. So welcome. Thank you for coming back. If you're new here, welcome. I would hope you stay on and subscribe to my podcast and leave a 5-star rating. So getting to the topic at hand, Disney, starting today, booking is now available for Disney Cruise Lines, early spring 2025 bookings, which is basically January through around May. So starting today on Monday the 30th, Pearl Castaway Club members will be able to book. Then on tomorrow, on Tuesday, October 31st, which is Halloween. Happy Halloween, by the way, everybody. The Platinum Castaway Club members, Golden Oak, and Club 33 members will, like I said, will be able to book starting tomorrow on Tuesday the 31st. Gold Castaway Club members will be able to start booking on Wednesday, November 1st. Silver Castaway Club members, Disney Vacation Club, and Adventure Insiders, Thursday, November 2nd. And then for all new guests, general public, Monday, November 6th. So if you are interested in looking at any sailings on Disney Cruise Line in the beginning of 2025, please give me a call or send me an email or a message on Facebook or anything. Fairy Tale Journeys by Todd Bro. You can look me up there and send me a message, and I'll be glad to give you a free, no obligation quote. Get you and typically when you book the earliest is when the prices are the best for Disney. Usually, as the ship fills up, the prices will increase. And then you can also, if you book early, you can always you get the best options as far as the cabins go. You know which room category, which cabin category you're looking for. So this is going to be probably a quick. I'm jumping in really quick, kind of just jumping around, but this is going to be a quick podcast today. I was just talking about that. So I'm going to go over some of the itineraries and just kind of briefly mention some of the destinations and dates and things like that. Of course, 2025 is the inaugural season for the Disney Treasure, for the new ship. I did have a podcast a couple episodes ago, maybe, on some of the stuff about the Treasure and some of the new information we had received about the Treasure. Of course, it's going to be 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean cruises, and those will be nice. Of course, going to Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, Castaway Cay, San Juan, Puerto Rico, or St. Thomas. And then with the Western ones, you get your Falmouth, Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Cozumel. And what's really neat about the Treasure, one brief information that they recently announced since the last podcast I talked about the Treasure, was that there's going to be a Haunted Mansion themed bar. I believe it's going to replace kind of where the Star Wars themed bar was on the Wish. So as you know, the Wish and the Treasure are sister ships, pretty much the kind of laid out the same. So yeah, Haunted Mansion bar on the Treasure, which is going to be amazing. The concept art looks amazing, and I just think the overall concept is great. So any Haunted Mansion fans out there, you're definitely going to want to cruise on the Treasure. So of course, get in touch with me about that. They're also going to have some Pacific Ocean voyages aboard the Disney Wonder that are going to go to Australia and New Zealand. As a matter of fact, I believe the Wonder is there now, or was recently there, if I remember correctly. But they're going to be returning in 2025 for special 15-night South Pacific cruises to Sydney, Australia, and also to Honolulu, Hawaii. So if you guys are looking to do a Disney cruise on to the Hawaiian Islands, they definitely have that. But it does go via Vancouver, Canada. So you basically can't, since Disney Cruise Line is registered in the Bahamas, it's there's an old not saying, but an old stipulation that the ships can't go from a U.S. port to a U.S. port. So basically, you couldn't leave out of Seattle and go to Hawaii. You have to go from Vancouver. So it's just kind of a thing they have to do. Um, and then there's also a Mexican Riviera cruise as well on the Wonder. Um, and one quick note, this is kind of about really the only, well, this is a major thing for the people in the South, in Louisiana area where I'm from. Um, they will not, Disney's cruise lines will not be returning to New Orleans in 2025. So now they will be going to Galveston again. They will still continue um, the cruises out of Galveston, um, but they will not be going to New Orleans. So if you are interested in a cruise on Disney out of New Orleans, 2024 is your last chance for a while. Now, they possibly could come back in 2026, but if you're looking to cruise now, I highly suggest you contact me as soon as you can to see what's available. I know a lot of people like to go during Mardi Gras time and that sort of thing, or Easter break. But if you're looking to go on a Disney cruise out of New Orleans, you need to contact me now because it's only going to be in 2024. Your next chance might not be till 2026, and then that's not even guaranteed. So they are not sailing out of New Orleans in 2025. So I just want to get that out there, make an exclamation mark, highlight it, whatever you want to call it. Um, get in touch with me. We can book those right now for 2024. There are still some availability, but it is limited. So, and especially now that that information has gotten out, if it, the people that are interested or are looking at that, now that they know that they can't wait till 2025 to cruise out of New Orleans, um, we'll either look at Galveston or, maybe push up their dates to 2024. So, speaking of that, let's just kind of get into some of the itineraries, and I'll just kind of briefly. I'm not going to name every date in every itinerary because there's a lot. You can go to the Disney Cruise Line website, or you can contact me for some further information if you kind of know specific times on when you're looking to cruise. So we'll start with Caribbean cruises. Again, these are all pretty much 2025 dates. Um, so again, the Disney Magic is gonna have 4 night Western Caribbean cruises out of Galveston, and they have some dates in January and in February and in March. And that is that 4 night Western Caribbean is Progreso, Mexico, and 2 days at sea. Now this one in particular, I just was starting to have some other people interested in it. If you are interested in going during Mardi Gras for 2025, that would, I believe, be the March 2nd date, um, which is the Sunday before Mardi Gras. So if you're looking to do a Disney cruise for Mardi Gras, this would probably be your only option, or one of your options would be the 4 night Western Caribbean cruise on March 2nd, 2025. So again, based on your club status, I can either start getting you quotes this week or on November 6th when it opens up to the general public. There's also going to be a 5 night Western Caribbean, but this is on the Dream out of Fort Lauderdale. So again, that's something new in 2025. Disney's Cruise Line is going to start sailing out of Fort Lauderdale with more options. And they're also, and I'll note this, when I come up to it, that the new Lookout Cay or Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, the new private island that Disney has other than Castaway Key, this new one called Lookout Key. So some of these itineraries, some of the Bahamian itineraries that I'm going to talk about, are going to include that new location, that new destination. So if you guys are looking to experience the new area, the new lighthouse point, um, Disney is going to be offering that in 2025 with these new sailings. Going back to the Caribbean cruises, though, right now there's a 5-night Western Caribbean cruise out of Galveston that's available in the Magic, and those are some dates in January and February. That includes Progreso, Cozumel, Mexico, and 2 days at sea. But is not during the week of Mardi Gras. It's like the week before and the week after, I believe. So anyway, then there's a 7-night Western Caribbean on the out of Galveston. That one goes to Georgetown, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel, Mexico, and 3 days at sea. And that's a 6-night Western Caribbean out of Galveston on the Magic. There's only 2 sailings for that. It's February 24th and March 10th. So again, I believe that is the next sailing after Easter, Mardi Gras. Then there's a 7-night Western Caribbean on the Disney Treasure. These are some of those ones, and this is out of Port Canaveral. So these are some of those 7-night Western Caribbeans I told you about. There's some dates in January, February, March, April, and May for those. That goes to Cozumel, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, Falmouth, Jamaica, and Castaway Key, and 2 days at sea. Then there's also the 7-night Eastern Caribbean, again on the Disney Treasure out of Port Canaveral. Dates in January, February, March, April, and May. And those go to British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Castaway Key, and 3 days at sea. So those are going to both of those, the Eastern and the Western 7-night cruises on the Treasure are going to be popular. Going to Bahama cruises. Again, I'm gonna probably try to go through these a lot quicker. There's 3-night Bahamian cruises on the Wish. A myriad of dates: January, February, March, April, May. Of course, it goes to Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas, and Castaway Key. So that's a quick little weekend 3-night trips. There's also some 3-night trips on the Magic out of Fort Lauderdale. There's some 3-night Bahamians on the Dream out of Fort Lauderdale, and there's some 3-night Bahamians on the Fantasy. So that's one thing that was a little bit different this year. The Fantasy is not, well, it will be doing, I believe it's 7-night sailings. Or actually, let me look. Actually, it's not. The Fantasy this time in 2025 is not doing the typical 7-night sailings. They're doing 3, 4, and 5-night Bahamian sailings. So that's a big difference with the Fantasy this go around. So if you guys not done a cruise on the Fantasy because it was a 7-night and you've done the Dream several times, this is the perfect opportunity to get on the Fantasy for a 3, 4, or 5-night Bahamian cruise. So that's something different as well with these 2025 itineraries. Of course, the Wish will still be doing the 4-night Bahamian cruises throughout that time. There is, speaking of, again, right back, I'm looking at this list here, the 4-night Bahamian cruises on the Fantasy. There is a couple of sailings, a few sailings that go to both Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point and Castaway Key. So you're looking at some dates in January, February, March, and April. So that would be some amazing itineraries out of Port Canaveral in Florida. You would get the Fantasy, you would get the new Lighthouse Point, and you would get Castaway Key, and you would get a day at sea. So that's kind of like one of the amazing, that's a good one right there. Of course, then you have actually had the Magic out of Port Canaveral one for 4-night, and that one also goes to Lookout Key, but it also goes to the Bahamas. It does not go to Castaway Key on that particular one on the Magic. Then there's a 4-night Bahamian where the Dream goes to Lighthouse Point with Nassau. So there's some dates for that as well. Then you kind of get to the 5 nights, and those are on the Dream, the Fantasy, the Magic. All of those have a mixture of either Castaway Key and Lookout Key on some of those 5 nights. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at it now. All of those 5 nights include Lookout Key, Castaway Key, a day at sea, and then Bahamas. So if you're looking to maybe go, a little bit more than one night longer, instead of the 4 night, do the 5 night. All of the 5 nights out of Fort Lauderdale and out of Port Canaveral include both both destinations. Then there's also back to Galveston. There is one 7 night Bahamian cruise out of Galveston, but it is not a closed loop. It does not return back to Galveston. It ends in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So on that particular cruise, you would have to, have transportation back to the U.S. from there. But it does go to Castaway Key, the Nassau, Bahamas, and it goes to Lookout Key and 3 days at sea. So if you're interested in that, that'd be a little something different. But again, you'd have to fly back. It does not return back to Galveston. Then you got a couple of Mexico cruises on the Wonder. You got a 3 night Baja cruise, a 4 night Baja cruise, and a 7 night Mexican Riviera cruise. And that one includes Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, and Ensenada, plus 3 days at sea on the Wonder out of San Diego. All three of these, the 3 night, the 4 night, and the 7 night, are all on the Wonder from San Diego. So then you have some Pacific Coast cruises. And these are a 4 night Pacific Coast cruise on the Wonder. And it looks like this one is just like a repositioning cruise, basically. It's just 3 days at sea. And it goes from San Diego and ends in Vancouver. So again, if you wanted to do just like a repositioning cruise, just to be on the ship up and down the coast, you would have to, make your way back from British Columbia. And then they also have a 5 night Pacific Coast, same thing, a repositioning cruise for the Wonder. Um, it looks like from Vancouver to back to San Diego. Um, so, and then finally, the last two cruises, and I kind of mentioned them before. There is a 9 night Hawaiian cruise on the Wonder, starting from Honolulu and ending in Vancouver, Canada. In this one, you get 5 days at sea, you get a day at Hilo, and 2 days in Kalawai. Is it Kalawai? Yeah. So yeah, so you actually stay overnight, 2 night. You stay overnight at one location, and then one night in Hilo, and then 5 days at sea. Then they have the big 15 night South Pacific, which is from Sydney, Australia, and ending in Hawaii, ending in Honolulu. So um, and then you actually go during this cruise. You have a stop at New Caledonia, Fiji, the American Samoas, and Hawaii, and then you also have 9 days at sea. So that's kind of like a bucket list cruise there, I would imagine, for most people. But you would have to basically fly to Australia to catch the boat and sail back, of course. But that would be an amazing cruise. Um, so yeah, I mean, I say briefly, I spent more time. I thought this podcast was going to be a lot quicker, but I kind of rambled on in regards to the itineraries. I probably lost half of all of y'all uh, when I started talking about different itineraries. So yeah, um, if you guys would like me to get you a free quote, if you're looking to do Disney Cruise Line in 2025 or even 2024, still got plenty of availability all for next year in 2024. This is just 2025 is now starting to become available this week and next week. Um, Again, just wanted to let y'all know about them not returning in 2025 to New Orleans. New Orleans. So, people in the South, if you're looking not to have to fly or drive to Orlando to Florida, um, your cheapest and quickest option is Galveston, but of course, those itineraries do not include Castaway Key or Lighthouse Point. So if you're looking to go to either one of those, you would have to do a Bahamian cruise out of Florida. So again, get with me. Send me an email, ftj by tb@gmail.com, or call me 337-380-0111. Message me on Facebook. Like and subscribe to this podcast. I have a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, Fairy Tale Journeys by Todd Bro. So I appreciate it. Thank you again. Sorry for the long-winded podcast. It was supposed to be a short one, but it ended up being a long one, just me rambling on. And like I said, I probably lost half of you guys earlier on in the podcast. But thank you guys for the ones that did keep up with me and stay till the end. Talk to you later. I'm not sure what's the next podcast going to be. Trying to throw in some stuff about Universal soon, maybe. Christmas holiday season is coming up. Maybe they'll have some more information about some of that. Yeah. And until next time, peace out. Well, we have come to the end of this episode of the podcast. If you would like help booking and planning your next vacation, please don't hesitate to reach out. I can provide you with a free, no obligation quote. I can be reached via email at ftjbytb@gmail.com or call 337-380-0111. Thank you, and may the force be with you always.